back to my channel. Today we are going to continue the best of 2020 series. In this video, I decided to combine everything into one. Recently, I uploaded my best of foundation and my favorite top 10 palettes of 2020. I will link those in the description box down below and also up in the iCards. But today we are going to cover everything. So we're going to get into bronzers, highlighters, blush, contour, powder, eyeliner, mascara, lipstick, lip gloss, concealers. I've just narrowed it all down to the products that I've used the most in 2020. Some are new, some are old, but these have definitely been the products that I have continued to reach for on a regular daily basis. So let's go ahead and start with concealers. I have 4 concealers here that are my go-to reach for every single day concealers. These are the concealers that never let me down. And these are in no particular order, okay? I probably have a favorite of the 4 that I'm going to share with you, but they're in no particular order. Let's start with the Pat McGrath concealer. Gorgeous concealer. This is great coverage, looks beautiful. The shade is perfect for me. So I wear the medium 15 in the Sublime foundation from Pat McGrath. So in the concealer, I wear the light medium 13. And it's like the perfect combination. Anytime I wear the foundation and the concealer together, they're just gorgeous because the undertones are right. And the under eye is not too light. It blends right into the foundation. This is not only a great shade, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful concealer. It only takes a little bit to get a great coverage, but it lasts throughout the day. It doesn't settle into all the fine lines and wrinkles. It's a beautiful concealer. Like, she did a great job on this one. The other one I have to talk about is the Dior Forever Skin Correct. This is a beautiful, beautiful concealer. I wear this in the shade 3 Warm. It's really lightweight. I would say these are very similar. The Pat McGrath and the Skin Correct, very similar. You get really good medium coverage, looks beautiful throughout the day, doesn't settle into all the fine lines, doesn't exaggerate the fine lines. Because here's the thing, because I don't set my under eye, I'm expecting creasing. Most of my concealers crease, okay, because I don't set them. But I don't mind if they crease. As long as the concealers don't exaggerate the wrinkles under the eyes, I'm okay with creasing. And these just look flawless and beautiful, like so, so pretty. Now, the other one that I have been recently just continuing to reach for, I'm wearing it right now. I think this is a beautiful concealer. This is the Tarte Shape Tape. You're kind of thinking, wait a minute, what? This is the Ultra Creamy Tarte Shape Tape. The original Tarte Shape Tape is way too much for my under eye. It's too thick and it's too heavy and it's too drying. Now, I know that a lot of influencers love the Shape Tape, but for me, being that I'm older, it's just too thick of a product for me to be able to wear. They recently launched the Ultra Creamy, and I've had this for about a month, and I have been wearing this nonstop. I bought this in the shade 36S, and it is just a great concealer. It's not heavy, but it does have that Ultra Creamy where it's a little bit more hydrating than the Tarte Shape Tape. So if you were somebody out there that used to love the Tarte Shape Tape, but you just got a little bit older, you couldn't wear it anymore because the original formula was just too thick and heavy for you, I recommend the Ultra Creamy. Now, I had to buy this, I think from QVC or HSN. I'm not exactly sure which one. I don't know when this is going to be available. It might already be available. I will link it in the description box down below. It might already at this point be available at Tarte and maybe at Ulta, but I really like the Ultra Creamy version of the Tarte Shape Tape. It's not heavy and it's not drying, and it looks really beautiful, and it lasts all throughout the day. And I think the thing that I love the most about it is that the dark circles don't start kind of peeking through by the end of the day. Now, I would say my #1 favorite concealer is the one from Hourglass. This is one out of all of the concealers that I have. This one gives my under eyes a smooth, like, texture under there. It's one of those that I don't have any formula like it. It gives great coverage, don't get me wrong. Looks great over wrinkles. The trick with this one is you can't use a lot of it. It's very pigmented and you only need a little bit. If you use too much of it, it'll look thick and cakey. What I like to do is I like to take the applicator and wipe it off with all the concealer, wipe it completely off of the wand, and then take whatever's left and just dot it. Kind of rub that in with my finger and just kind of pat it in and then go over it with a sponge. It's flawless and it gives the under eye a smooth texture. So it smooths out the really fine lines that I have. So of course, because like I said, I don't set my under eyes are always going to crease. But this particular formula smooths out some of the aging that I have going on right here in this area. I love this concealer. It's my favorite. I wear it in the shade Beige. And I also have it in the shade Dune for like spot concealing because it's a great formula for spot concealing as well. I love, love, love the Vanish concealer. This is just, whew, she is my favorite. So those are my favorite concealers of 2020. Let's move on to contour. The only product that I have pretty much used this entire year is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Intensity 2. Now, I used to have Intensity 1, and I went ahead and sent that to my friend Teresa from Teresa's Dead, because I think the Intensity 1 would work for her better than it did for me. Intensity 2 is what I wear. I love this. This melts into the skin so easily. I wear it every single day, and I'm almost hitting pan right there in the center of it, but you get so much of this. The only thing is I don't really use this. I know a lot of people use this. I haven't used it. This kind of gives you like a glass. You can kind of put it over your highlighter to, you know, highlight your highlighter. It kind of gives you that natural look, but for me, the contour is worth every single penny I paid for it. I love the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. I can see why it's been a major favorite for a lot of makeup artists for many years. It's just a perfect creamy blend. This tone is perfect because it's got a cool undertone, and I like to wear a warmer bronzer so that you can kind of see the difference between, you know, the contour and a bronze. This just contours the face in such a beautiful, flawless way. Now, I personally do not like powder contour. I work better with a creamy contour. It just blends into my skin much better, and I can blend it kind of into the foundation. And I feel like with a powder, it's almost like I'm applying a bronzer, and I have to be a little bit more careful. With a cream contour, you have, this kind of allows me to build it if I need it. It's the perfect tone, the perfect color, the perfect texture. It's just fantastic. Now, as far as bronzers go, I have two bronzers that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And it has to be the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer and the Gucci bronzer. This one from Charlotte Tilbury is a matte bronzer. So this kind of gives you that bronze in a very matte, soft way. It blends perfectly into the skin. I've said this several times, but I liked this bronzer, but I didn't fall in love with the bronzer until I bought the brush that she launched with it. One of the content creators that I watch here, her name is Lisa D1 on YouTube. She had talked about in one of her videos several months ago that the brush that Charlotte launched with this is just a perfect combination, and she was absolutely right. And I normally do not like these type of brushes where they're like super travel friendly. You know, they roll up and stuff like that. Like, it's not my favorite type of brush. I was a little bit apprehensive, I'm not gonna lie. But when I put these two together, this one has a little bit of an angle to it, and it fits perfectly on the contours of the face, and it applies bronzer like a dream. So if you love the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I think you will love these two as a combination. They're great. When I want a little bit more luminosity or a little bit softer of a bronzer, I reach for the Gucci. It's a great bronzer. I held off buying this for a really long time. Everybody was raving about it, but I was like, I love the Charlotte Tilbury. I don't need another bronzer. But I am so glad that I bought this bronzer. It's beautiful, and it melts into the skin so beautifully. Both of these are high quality, gorgeous, gorgeous bronzers. They're definitely my favorite of 2020. I mean, it is a no-brainer. Now let's get into the blushes that I have. Let's talk about the liquid blushes that I use the most. The one from Rare Beauty, oh, it is just perfection. I've talked about it a few times. I also love the By Terry Brightening CC blush. I think this only comes in one shade, but I love this as like a blush base. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I am one of those that blush is kind of the first thing that fades off of my face throughout the day. And sometimes if I don't really want to mess with my makeup, or I'm going somewhere and I want my blush to stay and last all day, I will kind of use a liquid blush as like a base, and then I will go over it with a powder blush just to kind of top things off. But these two melt into the skin so beautifully. Yes, the one from By Terry is much more expensive than the one from Rare Beauty. How I prefer to apply both of these products. I think any liquid blush, I like to apply it this way, but I will take the Rare Beauty and I will take a dot from the applicator right here on the back of my hand, which by the way, this will last forever. I wear this in the shade Bliss, and I do prefer the matte version over the dewy version, just FYI. So I got it here on the back of my hand. I will take my blush brush and mix it into the brush and then apply it. And it just blends into the skin beautifully. Now, some people take it and go directly on and then blend it in with their fingers. I've never really had any luck doing that. I feel like for me, in order to get the best control over that product, I have to, you know, put it on the back of my hand, blend it into my brush, and then apply it. Same goes for the CC cream from By Terry. That's how I get the best, most even application. I feel like if I actually take the dot and put it on my skin and blend it out with my finger, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't give me an even application that way. So blending it into the brush for me is key. As far as regular blushes, my number one favorite blush of 2020, I don't think this is going to be surprising to you guys at all, is the Patrick Ta. The cream duo. Oh my gosh. The cream and powder duo from Patrick Ta. I can't wait for him to bring out an eyeshadow palette, by the way. But like, I love these. I love them so much. There's something magical about this formula and his creation behind it. Kind of the rule of makeup. You don't put cream over powder. But these were made for that. So you put the powder blush on, and then you take a sponge and you go down into the cream, and then you put it right over top. It is like magical. When I do my makeup, I put my foundation on, I put the contour on, I put the bronzer on, I put the blush on, and then I like to powder everything together. So I'll like to take my setting powder and kind of set it and kind of buff it all in together and make it blend all into one. When you do that, it will kind of diffuse your blush to the point where you don't see it as much. That's where these are magic. Now, I will say this is my favorite shade. This is the shade She's So LA. I like this shade because it's unique and I don't have anything like it in my collection. I have a lot of this shade because it's kind of, peach is kind of my thing. But this is a very unique shade, and I will take this just over any blush. It doesn't matter what blush I'm wearing, but going into this cream product and putting it over top of your blush, it like brings it to life, and it just looks so dewy, but yet everything is already set. Like you've already set everything. Everything's blended together beautifully, but you're bringing your blush back to life and really making those cheeks pop. So Patrick Ta did a phenomenal job. In my opinion, these get the crown. These get the crown for being the best blushes of 2020 by far. I have really loved the Wayne Goss, this duo right here. It's my favorite. This one is the Coral Rose. This Coral Rose from Wayne Goss is gorgeous. This is my favorite combination out of the 4 that he launched. Such a soft formula on the skin, and you can build it up to be more intensified, or you can you know, just apply it once and just kind of give a little bit of a flush to the skin. Very controllable, very beautiful. And the powder is a very sleek powder that just melts into the skin. So Wayne Goss did a great job on his blushes. And then I would have to say I have loved this shade from Hourglass. This is the Dim Infusion. You guys know I love the Hourglass blushes. They're one of my favorite blush formulas. And I recently got this shade this year, I would say probably about 5 or 6 months ago. And I have just loved this. It's just a very soft pink tone. It's a beautiful shade. So I had to choose this one from Hourglass. It's definitely been one of my favorites this year. Let's move on to highlighters. My favorite highlighter of 2020 is this metallic palette from Hourglass. I have loved this. Absolutely loved it. It is so beautiful. Now this is a very intensive. It is a metallic formula, so a little bit goes a long way. And my favorite way to wear it is I like to run my brush through all of the shades. It seems like all of the shades mixed into one. It just becomes such a beautiful light champagne with a hint of like a rose. Such a beautiful, beautiful palette. This is a very natural metallic formula. So it's one of those formulas that you can tell that you're wearing a really good highlighter, but it blends into the skin like a dream. I mean, it just looks so natural. So like I said, I like to run my brush through all 3 of the shades, tap off, and then I just go in and just put it right there on the high points of the face. I don't normally like metallic formulas because I've never really been able to find a metallic formula that I felt like was skin-like or was more on the natural side. And this just melts into the skin and oh, I love it. And I have a feeling that this palette will last me well past its expiration date because you don't need a lot of it. It's beautiful. I would say the other one that was recently launched is this nude one. I Need a Nude from Natasha Denona. This is a beautiful nude. It's a very beautiful like champagne. And for me, I loved my Embrace from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That was my favorite highlighter. And I feel like this has kind of replaced that one because this is a very buildable formula as well. And it's perfect for my skin tone. It just gives that really beautiful highlight, but in a very, very soft, beautiful way. It's not a different color than what we already have, but I do really love the formula. So I have been reaching for this one a lot since I got it. Let's move on to the powders. Nothing has replaced my Hourglass setting powder and my Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder. These two are something that I use every single day. Now, when I'm not filming, I don't use as much setting powder. I do always use my finishing powder. When I wear makeup, this is always on the center of my face. I just haven't found anything that has replaced it. Now, recently, I did buy the Sisley powder, and I'm still kind of working with it. There is nothing out on the market for me that does what the Charlotte Tilbury powder does, especially with this combination with this brush. I've told you guys that before. This brush from Sonia G, this is the soft cheek brush. These two are like magic together. I don't know what it is, but the way that this brush applies this powder, it's a very soft combination and it applies it in a very beautiful, soft way over those wrinkles. And it just looks flawless. Like these two together, they are a match made in heaven. I've said it before, and I'm going to continue to say it. But as far as the finishing powder from Hourglass, the main reason why I love this is because it's not heavy. It does the job of blending everything in and setting my foundation, but it's not heavy over my wrinkles. It's not heavy over my texture, and it's not drying for my dry, normal, maturing skin. So for me, none of the powders that I've used compare to the Hourglass. It's my favorite. I will say I have used this for so long that I have kind of taken advantage of how easy it is to use. So the nice thing about the Hourglass powder, not only is the powder amazing, but the actual tub is a genius way for powder. And the reason why I had kind of forgotten about just how easy and mess-free the powder is until I got this one from Sicily. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a great powder from Sicily, but this is like messy. And every time I use it, it's just a hassle. And I have to dump some in there, and if I get too much, it absorbs into here, and it's kind of a pain. With this, you tap on the back of this 3 times and it gives you the perfect amount of powder that you need to put all over your face. And you've got this little dome that you can run your brush down into. Like, the packaging on this is genius. I appreciate the packaging even more now since I've been trying other powders. The packaging on that is fantastic. Let's talk about eyeliners. So my number one favorite eyeliner for the waterline is the Pat McGrath. This stuff doesn't budge all day long. This is the Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil. It lasts up into my waterline all day long. It's budge proof, and I like to put eyeliner on my waterline to make my eyelashes look and appear to be thicker. And even if I'm wearing lashes, I like to cover the waterline and so that it kind of all blends together so that you don't see my lashes and the false lashes. I will also say I love the ones from Hourglass. Now, these are expensive because you don't get very much, but these are the 1.5 millimeter mechanical gel eyeliners. Now, what I love about this is it's very, very small. I mean, it's smaller than an eyebrow pencil, and it gets right into those crevices of your lashes, and you can just really work it in there. So far for me, the Permagel from Pat McGrath and the Hourglass, they last the longest in my waterline. They're the easiest to apply, and love them both. They're fantastic. Now, to do any kind of smudging, so for example, when, you know, you put some eyeliner right at the base of the lashes, and if you want to kind of wing it out and kind of smudge it, I recommend the Wayne Goss Eye Kohl Pencil and the Rock and Kohl Pencil from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't recommend these in the waterline because they don't stay, but that's what I like about them on the upper lash line, is because I can really smudge them out. It seems like any eyeliners that are easy to smudge are not going to be for the waterline, and those that are hard to smudge are good for the waterline. Now let's talk about mascaras. My number one favorite mascara of 2020 is definitely the Gucci. I think it's called the L'Obscure or something like that. But I wore this so much. Loved this mascara until I tried this from Lancome. This is their new one. I have been wearing this nonstop, and my eyelashes are, woof, I mean, they lift. Right now, these are my real lashes, no individual lashes, no false lashes. These are all mine. And this is the Lash Idol from Lancome. It's brand new. I think it's been out for about a month now. I am absolutely obsessed with this mascara. Now, I will say I love the primer along with it. So I've had a couple of samples of the lash primer, and these two together, like, this gives me the fullness. So I put the primer on, and it, you know, I really coat the lashes with it, and it kind of gives me a fuller lash. And then when you go in with this is a very thick formula. It's kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, the new one, the Push Up mascara, but I feel like this one is like completely smudge proof. I've never had it transfer. And, you know, on most of the time, like if I look up, my lashes are touching up here and it doesn't transfer up there. You guys, I know that this just recently came out, but this is my ride or die mascara. I have not picked up another mascara since I tried this mascara from Lancome. I've not picked up another one. And I love this one from Gucci. Love this from Gucci. But this new one from Lancome, man, whew, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But this is what the brush looks like. But it's a very easy bendable type of brush. So when you're putting the mascara on, it really bends with you. And the brush isn't too big to where you can't get into the corners. Great mascara. Whew, it's a good mascara. I love it. Now, the brush on the Gucci is good because right here on the tip, it has these little spikes. You see right there on the tip of the brush. Those are great to kind of get those corner lashes where you can really reach them and coat those corners. So I really still like the Gucci, but that no mascara I've ever used has made my real lashes look like the Lancome. Nothing. None of them. Let's move on to lips. My favorite lipstick discovery of 2020. Now, these were not launched in 2020. They launched new shades. But it has to be this formula from Chanel. I love this. This is the longest lasting, natural looking lipstick I have in my collection. Nothing compares to this formula from Chanel. I can see why people love it. I have 2 shades of the Timeless Beige because one goes in my purse. That's what I'm wearing right now. It's the most beautiful natural nude, and it lasts for hours and hours and hours. And all I have to do is put a little bit of gloss on to revive it, and I'm back in business. The thing that I love the most about this, especially right now during mask time, when you're wearing a mask and when you go to take it off, any of your lipstick is gone because it's rubbed against the mask, you've been talking or whatever the case is, there's nothing there. With this, every time I remove the mask, I still have something on, and if I need to revive it, I just pull out the gloss. It is fantastic. I have it in 3 shades. So this light pink shade right here is called Chic Beige. You can kind of see it's a very beautiful kind of baby pink. This one right here in the middle is Timeless Beige, which is my favorite. And then this one over here is Warm Beige. And what you do is you put on and I don't have a lip liner on with any of this. So I'm wearing Timeless Beige with no lip liner. That's the other thing that I like about it, is I don't need a lip liner with it. But what you do is you put on the color first. So it's a double-ended formula. You put on the color first, and then you let it dry. You let it set up for about a minute until it gets kind of tacky. Then you go over it with the gloss. It is the longest lasting stuff. I'm obsessed with it. This is my 2nd tube of the Wayne Goss lip gloss in the shade Hibiscus. It is my favorite. It's a beautiful rose gold. I love the flavor of it. I love the way that it looks. The shine, it's a high shine gloss. I'm telling you, Hibiscus is my favorite. Look at that shine. It is just so pretty. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It just gives that lips just such a beautiful metallic shine, especially the way that it beams off the lights. It's my favorite. I love the Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, I love the Lisa Eldridge lip glosses. They are my absolute favorite. This one right here is in the shade Muse. It's so opaque, but I'll tell you, Fenty is kicking it. I love this new formula from Fenty. I just reviewed these a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. I love the Fenty Glow. You guys, I've been wearing this nonstop since I reviewed it. These are her new creamy glosses. They're very opaque and very pigmented. And this is the shade Fenty Glow. I have been wearing it so much. For me, it's easier to get because whenever I want to order the Lisa Eldridge, I have to order it from the UK. And this is, I feel like, just as opaque as the Lisa Eldridge. And it's so beautiful. I love it. Love it. Oh my gosh, I love this new formula from Fenty. I would say my favorite long-lasting lipstick besides the Chanel, I would say, is the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution formula. That one lasts a pretty long time. And I would also say the Tom Ford lipstick. The Tom Ford is just a great lipstick overall. I buy it in the shade Indian Rose. I only have it in one shade because it's just too expensive. But Indian Rose is my favorite shade. I just love this shade. But I would say the Tom Ford lipstick and the Matte Revolution last the longest as far as just a lipstick goes. Let's talk about setting sprays, and then we're done. My 2 favorite setting sprays, you can tell I'm almost through the entire bottle of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is one of my favorites since it launched. I love it. This is for those days where I just want it to be kind of locked and loaded, but it does leave the skin with a little bit of a shine. So if you don't want a shine on your skin, I wouldn't recommend this. So on the days that I don't want the shine, I reach for the Soft Focus Veil Primer from Hourglass. This one, you have to give it a pretty good shake. And when you spray it, it's in a very soft kind of mist, but it doesn't have any type of shine to the skin. It's almost got a powder finish, but it does stay locked and loaded. And it's very incredible the way that the formula was made. So these are definitely my top favorite setting sprays of 2020 for sure. I still use my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray though. I'm not gonna lie. I still love this stuff. I stay heavily stocked on it because I do really like it. And I also, for those days, I can't wear this on a regular basis. I have the big one, but I don't know where it's at. Is the All-Nighter from Urban Decay. Now this has alcohol in it. It kind of dries me out. It feels like you're putting hairspray on your face. But it is a great locked and loaded type of setting spray. So if you're somebody that's wearing a mask all the time and you really need your makeup locked and loaded, if your skin can handle the alcohol in the All-Nighter, there is nothing better than the All-Nighter, in my personal opinion, to keep your makeup on. Now, if there's something out there that doesn't have alcohol in it and it works as good as the All-Nighter, let me know. But the All-Nighter, in my personal opinion, is the best to keep the foundation and your entire makeup locked and loaded and mask proof. It really works. That's it. Those are my favorites of 2020 in all of these categories. Now, up here on the screen is the image of this video's giveaway. I have several more giveaways to come. I'm slacking on the giveaways, but I'll probably be doing it into January. For me, the holidays never end, I guess. But this is the image of what's available in this giveaway. And all you have to do is comment down below. Very, very easy. Comment down below. Let us know what your favorite product of 2020 was, like your top favorite product that you bought in the year of 2020 or discovered in the year of 2020. And then give me a way for me to get in touch with you, whether it's your Instagram handle, your email, your Twitter, your Facebook, whatever it is. I gotta have a way to get in touch with you. Now, all of the giveaway details will be in the description box down below, so definitely enter the giveaway. It's my way of showing my love back to you guys. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I love you all so, so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye.